Well, my grandfather and my father lived in a community called Slab Fork, West Virginia. My grandfather was a pioneer in the coal business. And if you look at a picture of Slab Fork in those early days, they cut every tree down. There was no sense in those days of an environment. It was to get to that valuable thing, coal. It was the jobs were related to the people who worked in the mines and created the mines. So there was no sense in those days of clean water. Nobody thought about preserving the trees. It was building an economy, and that was just not on people's minds. And one of the great things that's happened, I can remember in my father's generation, I lived in Charleston, people thought that if we cleaned up the environment, that was the chemical center of the world, that if we cleaned up the environment, there would be no jobs. And you used to talk about you could light the river, stand a match and throw it in the river and catch on fire. And so I saw in my father's generation, my grandfather's generation, very little respect for the environment. These were good people. There just wasn't a consciousness about the environment. Now my son and my granddaughters, they think very much about the environment. And I think very much about the environment. So to talk about the valuable resource of coal, the need of that energy in the world, we have to do it in a compatible way with the environment. So this two generations ago, nobody would even dreamed of talking about those two things. They were fighting each other all the time. Now we realize that this valuable coal we have will not be valuable unless it's environmentally sound. And so the technology that will go in there can build a whole industry of research, of technology, of computers, of scientists, all those things that come around a university. And so now we can combine those two things of the technology, the natural resource of coal, and a good environment. It is using our imagination the best way we possibly can. It is looking to the future, not to the present and the past, but to the future. And that's what the Imagine West Virginia is really all about.